When we built the original CSGO potato all that time ago, people would argue that that's what made Tech Yes City what it is today. And to that, I agree. We did indeed build this channel up on potatoes. And today I have the second installment here right beside me where we picked up a bargain PC for 30 Australian dollars. And of course, we're going to give it some real budget upgrades and see what we can get out of this thing. And of course, see how it performs in CSGO. Welcome back to Tech Yes City. This is Brian coming to you guys today with the second installment of the CSGO potato. So the original one, we built that. It was awesome value for money, and besides the potato theme, which I thought it would perform pretty badly, it performed really well. Today we're hoping to beat those scores with this PC that we picked up here for $30. When I saw this thing, I knew exactly what I had to do with it. We picked it up in a used PC parts hunt, which I do here every month on the channel. And so I was amazed at the value for money this thing was offering on paper. And of course, when I got it home, it did indeed boot up. But we do have to give it some upgrades. It didn't come with a hard drive. It's got a dual core as well, which is really old and dated. And it's got a crappy cooler and a crappy power supply. So we've got here a Core 2 Quad, which is a 4-core potato, but at least we're getting double the potato that we're originally getting with the CPU that's in there. We got this and the cooler out of a dumpster PC that we got. And this hard drive here, 160 gigabyte Seagate hard drive, also got this out of a dumpster. Now the power supply is a PowerMan 400 watt power supply. Picked this up in a used PC part hunt a couple of months ago. Got it in a $100 system, so I'm technically going to price it up at around $10 because that's what you would expect to pay for something like this. So this brings the whole total of this PC to around 40 Australian dollars, which would be around 32 US dollars. So very cheap, coming in even cheaper than the last CSGO potato. But with that said, we've got one filthy PC here and some potatoes on it. So we're going to take the potatoes away and we'll put them back on later for the B-roll, but we're gonna give this thing a proper Tech Yes City cleanse and see what we can make do. So now we've pulled apart the last of the pieces before we start cleansing, and this is a GTX 275, but you can see here the thermal pads are basically like new. So I believe someone has already opened this card up, even recently perhaps, and given it a cleanse because the thermal paste is still pretty wet, and also the screws have indications of threading on them. It looks as if someone has used the wrong screwdriver when they previously attempted to open this graphics card up. But that aside, we've got this whole dirty PC here, and we're gonna cleanse it down, of course, with alcohol wipes and brake cleaner. So now it's time for that moment of truth. We are going to try and boot it up and see if we can get a signal. Okay, there we go. Just had to turn the power on at the back. Oh yeah! Okay, so now we've got this at 3.36 gigahertz. Pretty odd number, but the FSB number is actually quite a magical number, 420. And the temperatures in here are about 25 degrees ambient at the moment. And you can see the temperatures there, even after just 5 minutes of testing, it's about 70, yeah, hitting 77 degrees. So generally you don't want to take these over the Core 2 quads over about 80 degrees. So I'm pretty comfortable with this overclock now. I think this is going to be the overclock that we shall run the games with. But let's quickly run a Cinebench score and see how good this Q8400 gets. So we've just finished overclocking the graphics card, and that is running really well. The CPU is running really well too, so that benchmark looks pretty good. And I'll quickly show you guys the settings, so you'll have something to match that to, as well as the Cinebench score. So if you do have a Potato that's of similar spec, and it's not running as well, then you'll know you have to maybe reinstall Windows, or tune up Windows, or do something else to get some more performance out of your PC. But there is one problem, and that is these two sticks of memory. It is indeed 3 gigabytes. So I thought it was 4 in my vlog. I swear I saw 4 gigabytes for some reason. But we can see on one side of the memory stick, the right one, that there's no banks on that stick. So it is indeed a 3 gigabyte configuration. So we'll see if that does indeed run CSGO okay. And if it does, then we might try some other games. But you can probably hear the fan noise is really loud too, because I've overclocked the graphics card and then maxed the fan speed so it doesn't overheat. But let's get on with the show. So here I was trying to record the most pro CSGO footage you've ever seen in your life. And it's just, yeah, I got it on camera, it completely dropped out. So it looked like it needs more memory. So we've got an extra I think it's 3 gigabytes of memory here. We're gonna try and install this and see if we can get it working. If this doesn't work, then I don't know. Maybe we can only play CSGO with a few players on the map. Okay, so we now have 5 gigabytes of memory. Very odd configuration, but let's see if that CSGO D Dust 2 works. So there it is, the results are in, and this computer plays CSGO a little bit better than the last CSGO Potato that we did. So we're getting around an extra 10 to 20 FPS in that title with the exact same video graphical settings. However, one thing to note with CSGO is that they did improve the game. They updated the game since the last time I did that last PC, so I'm not too sure if that makes it more graphically intensive or if it's more optimized for the CPU, but it was running a little bit better on this potato than it was on the last potato that we built. And the good thing to come out of this is that if you're on a budget and you want to get into PC gaming, games like CSGO and even Dota 2, which I tested on this rig by the way, and it played 60 FPS at 1080p on medium settings at 100% screen resolution settings. So it was really good gaming experience for the money. I mean, we paid $30 for the PC, added some extra components in. Of course, we needed that extra memory, but I think if you want to get into some of these titles that are very popular multiplayer titles, then you'll need at least 4 GB of DDR2 memory on this PC. As we saw with the 3 GB, CSGO started just chopping out. It was an unplayable experience, and I didn't even want to try the other games with that 3 GB. But after we added in that memory, it was smooth sailing. The game was playing extremely well. And I guess that's the purpose of this video, all jokes aside, is that you can get in to PC gaming on an extreme budget. For instance, if you're a teenager and you've got no job and your parents don't want to give you much money for a PC, then you can put together some pieces and put together something that'll still play games reasonably well and give you an enjoyable experience. And then after your parents see how addicted you are to video games, they'll perhaps think about purchasing you a better PC. But you could also be that guy with a bigger budget, but you don't want to spend much money on PC gaming. Perhaps you only like one particular game on the PC. Well, in that case, you might only want to spend a real little bit of money, save your money for other things in life. And this is what it's all about here with this CSGO potato. It is just one PC that can get up and play the game, and Dota 2. But I know you're probably thinking, what about a more modern title? Can something like this play, for instance, Fortnite? And let's check it out. So I'll be damned, this thing could get up and play Fortnite with over 60 FPS at a lot of the times. It was actually a smooth experience. Keep in mind, when we first did the automatic recommended settings, it was a pretty bad experience getting around 20 FPS, but when we put on the lowest settings, it got up to over 60 FPS a lot of times. I think I even saw it get up to 90 at one stage, which was incredible considering this is like a $30 PC plus a few extra dollars on some other components. And I really didn't expect it to play Fortnite, but it did. And it was to the point where I could still get some frags, still have a good experience, and I haven't played this game in a few months either, and I'm pretty bad at it. So, and also another cool thing that I noticed while I was doing this video was if you have an unactivated Windows 10 license, if you put the video mode in exclusive full screen, it'll get rid of that message. So you can play games on an unactivated Windows 10 copy, and you'll be having a good time. And lastly, of course, the PC itself, we cleaned it up with Brake Cleaner. That's something I've been using for a while. You can make sure it's non-chlorinated if you don't want to damage any parts, but I've never had a problem with either. We used WD-40 to give it that new look shine, and compared to what it originally was, I think it looks a lot better. And of course, we overclocked the CPU, put in those bits and potatoes, and even a potato hard drive, for example, and just a few little components, and we made something that runs really well. The synergy was actually pretty good. If you saw in the games, you had the CPU at high percentage usage, you had the graphics card at high percentage usage as well. So that was a really good combo for a budget. So I was pretty impressed with this PC, but I want to hear you guys in the comments. Tell me what you think of this PC. If you like it, then be sure to hit that like button. And let me know if you didn't like something about the video too, and I'll try and work on that for another video in the future, and I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye. Some would say, okay, just have a break, bro. Just cut that thing off. Come on. Okay, test, mic check, mic check, mic check. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Okay. Some would say, Also, some cool things about the original video that I'm still using in this video is that $10 tripod that I used all that time ago, and of course, the same t-shirt as that video.